Hey folks, so I read an article in the what it was, the New York Post. Folks, I just browsed a bunch of different websites, and this article caught my attention where this young couple in the U.S., they're on YouTube and social media, whatever. They announced, I guess a couple months ago, the old lady was pregnant, and then they found out that the child has a probability of having Down syndrome. You know, you can detect that through blood tests, and through that gain there's a probability the child might be born with Down syndrome. And after finding out, they came out and said they elected to terminate the pregnancy, and she had an abortion. And now the internet is in an uproar over this internet famous couple, electing to terminate the pregnancy because of the possibility that the child would have Down syndrome. And so I did about 10 minutes of research on it. And I don't know anything about this couple. Like, their screen name is something McChicken McNuggets or some shit. I don't know what it is. But they lost me when I looked on there, and they're both wearing fucking masks in the year 2026. I don't know what that's about, but that's all I needed to see. When I saw them two knuckleheads walking around wearing the fucking masks, I'm like, okay, that's it. I don't need to see anything else about them. Don't care about them. And the point of this talk has nothing to do with them. They're getting skewered on the internet, getting death threats, all this stuff, right? But let's just put these idiots aside. And the word idiot, two things. The dude was wearing skinny jeans. Number two, they're wearing face masks. I don't need to know anything else about you. All right? Maybe you got tuberculosis. There's a valid reason you're wearing that fucking mask. I don't know. But you already lost me. All that aside, let's talk about the issues. Hey, I'm trying to make an award-winning YouTube video, and you're over there giving me a half moon, borderline full moon. If you're just joining me, this is my son, Forrest G. Hey, sometimes he likes to spice up my videos by doing crazy things in the background. If you're not tracking, this boy's autistic, and he doesn't talk yet, but we're hoping he'll start talking soon. He's my buddy. So, the internet's in an uproar. Why? They had an abortion due to, genetic testing, whatever you want to call it. Okay, the child's going to have Down syndrome. Let's get rid of it. Try to start over. Start fresh. What's the problem with that argument? There's so many problems with it. From the argument of ethnic cleansing. Okay, well, what if it's a girl? If it's a girl, we don't want a girl. Okay, abortion, try again. What if, this problem, and we're just so selective that we're reminiscent of the Nazis during World War II. Why isn't the internet in an uproar over the fact that millions of children, millions of pregnancies are terminated every year, regardless of the fact there's nothing wrong with the children. Nobody's in an uproar over that. Some people are, but it doesn't make news when a lady goes out and terminates her pregnancy. Now it makes news because a celebrity couple did it, because the child is probably and possibly and probably going to have Down syndrome. The arguments about how heinous this is, it doesn't make sense, because you're not arguing or advocating for all the other children. I just want to talk about our experience when she was pregnant. We went over to Thailand, she got a checkup. Hey, Mother of the Year. Mother of the Year. I'm trying to make an award-winning YouTube video. And we went to the hospital over there. Now let me set the tone here. Healthcare in Thailand is top-notch. If you've never been to Southeast Asia, Thailand is not a developing nation. It's developed. Over here where I'm sitting, you can describe this place as a developing nation. Big difference. So we're at the hospital in Thailand, doing her initial checkup, and they offered us the genetic testing or whatever they're gonna do to determine the same thing. Does the child have the extra chromosome? What is it, the something 21? And they offered that test. And she can tell you, obviously she was standing there, and my response was, I don't want the test. Don't want the test, don't need the test. We're gonna accept the child no matter what issues they may have. So we declined the test. Just didn't want to know. That's us. That's me. I don't think she wanted to know either. Just let nature run its course. But what I'm going to admit to is that the average person doesn't think like that. What? Did you get that on? Did he get that on Utang? Of course, G just went to the sorry store, come back with his candy. He must have got it on Utang. Dude, make sure the ate's in there and he didn't climb over the rail and snatch it. Go in there and make sure she knows that he just went and got the candy. The average person is not a warrior. They're not good at conflict. They're not good at rising above extreme struggle. They're just not. Okay, I'm trying to talk about a serious subject here, and you're hustling me. She's already done the credit. I'll pay her later. I don't have any money in my pockets. But you check your own pockets. Okay, can you get out of frame? Nobody wants to look at a middle-aged single mother here. Oh, he put his candy in the bowl.
I think he gets in there.
Go in there and ask her. Does he? Can he climb over there?
Oh, is this there? Oh.
Just go talk to her and ask her. She may have gave it to him. If not, he is a pretty good climber. Do you want me to repeat again that I don't have any money in my pocket? You got a bag full of coins over there. Anybody else want to interrupt my serious talk here that I'm trying to talk about a serious subject?
Oh, how about the change? Yeah.
No, I got 500 in my pocket. I'm not giving you the 500. No, get out of here.
You have 1K, then you pay in 7-Eleven 311.
Does Steven Spielberg or Johnny Carson have these same problems? Okay, please just go away right now. Don't go away, man. Don't go away, man. Just go away. Now there's an airplane. Okay, we're doing a great job. Just do it over there. So we don't know. We don't know how we're going to react to a situation like that.
No, huh?
And I'm going to put you in what's called a decision forcing case. We used to teach this way to put you in the shoes of a real person in real history and force you to make a decision. Not theoretical, not here's a scenario. No, this is a real world situation. It really happened to a real person. They made a decision. Now, it's better if you don't know what the outcome is, but in this case, I've already told you the outcome to set the stage. But let's just say you and your spouse, your wife's pregnant, and you go and they test and they say, we're sorry to tell you the news, but there's a probability your child is going to be born with Down syndrome. And they go all over all the issues and the medical issues that these children have, and the possibility that you're going to have to provide lifelong care. And they go down this route with you and to explain it, what Down syndrome is and what your options are. So here you go. You're these two, this celebrity couple on YouTube, whatever the fuck their name is, the Nuggets or whatever, the Nugget couple, and they give you that news. And the doctors say we can either terminate the pregnancy or you can have this child with the high probability that they're going to be born with Down syndrome. What do you do? What are you going to do? What is your decision? You have to make a decision. You have to make a decision. So I just put you in the shoes of these knuckleheads. I call them knuckleheads only because the dude's wearing skinny jeans, wearing a fucking mask, not because of his situation. What do you do? Those are your options. A, raise a child with Down syndrome. B, terminate the pregnancy. Those are your options. What are you going to do? It's a difficult decision. A lot of people make the decision to terminate pregnancies and they know nothing about this. It's just either financial or unwanted, doesn't fit their career. A lot more heinous reasons pregnancies are terminated versus finding out a child is going to be born with special needs. Oh, we're not ready to have a child, so we went and terminated the pregnancy. That's a lot more heinous, right? If you're going to argue reasons for it. Oh, we're just not financially prepared, so we terminated the pregnancy. That's a lot more heinous than saying and admitting. And I think this is where it goes. People are admitting to themselves that I am not prepared to raise a child with special needs. They're admitting up front that I just can't do it. And as heinous as any abortion may be in your opinion, or may not be in your opinion, not sitting here arguing the abortion debate in general, but somebody finds out and they make the decision, they're admitting to everybody, and their family and friends, and these folks admitted to the world on the internet that we can't handle that. Now, is that noble or is it just shallow? They're just, oh, this is it's inconvenient. It's inconvenient, we'll just try again later. Doesn't sound good. But if you got down and said, I just can't handle it, I just can't do it, that's the truth. Either way, a lot of these children get put up for adoption, especially back in the day, or they would be turned over to some type of institution. What kind of life are they going to lead?
What now? Your son chasing the goat.
He's chasing the goat. He's having a good time. So all of these people who are hitting them and sending death threats, they're not going out right now, nor have they went out and adopted a child with Down syndrome. And therefore, in my opinion, they have no standing. Now, if you're the parent of a child with special needs, especially Down syndrome, okay, you have standing to talk on the issue. Real world experience, not theory, not Starbucks activism bullshit. Never even been around a child with Down syndrome. You have no standing. You have no dog in the fight. You know nothing of the argument. So if it seems like I'm defending these folks, in a way I am. Because not everybody is cut out, has the intestinal fortitude to raise a child with special needs. Not everybody can do it. I saw this one stat that said something like 80% of fathers are absent in the lives of children with special needs. And I watched another video, this one chick, she was just gangster about it. She's like, you know, she works with kids with Down syndrome. She's like, ain't no fathers around nowhere. They don't come to visit. They're not in the, we never see them. So you run that increased risk that the father is out of there. Now you got a single mom raising a child with Down syndrome. I don't have the answers. I'm just here to invoke thought. And you're sitting like half in frame, half out of frame, and it's like very awkward to the viewers. Either out of frame or in frame. There. How long have we been doing this? There you go right there. Folks, we've been doing this a long time. Old Steven Spielberg here. Zero cooperation from this one.
I don't know what you...
But I'm all over the map here, but I think the point is, point number one, not everybody is cut out and is ready to fight that fight. So one of the parents, usually the father, is out of there, puts more stress on the mother. So what's the better course of action?
Boris,
What's the better course of action? It's hard decisions to be made. If you knew, if you know. Some states, I understand, have tried to ban this type of testing where people don't know. Okay, y'all started fucking, you got pregnant, you know, your child is born and you're born. Hey, there's a mango rolling underneath the tripod. The child is born and hey, there's your baby. It's time to be a parent.
No.
And I don't know what the legal status is in other states or what have you. But the argument is, how far do we take that? Oh, testing is going to say, oh, they're going to have blue eyes. Oh, I don't want a baby with blue eyes. Go ahead and let's get an abortion. I want a baby with brown eyes. Oh, she's got blonde hair, or you got brown hair. No. I want a baby with blonde hair. Let's try again. How far does it go? Selective breeding. Now we're back to the fucking Nazis in 1939. From what I read, they actually started the program. Now this is coming from a Holocaust historical website. That they were doing, you know, going to the children's hospitals and basically killing these children who had special needs, Down syndrome, any type of deformities. They were eliminating those children, and sort of that model is what actually led to the Holocaust. They were already getting rid of their own people, their own children and adults that had any type of special needs. They were already getting rid of their own people. And then that evolved into getting rid of millions. It's kind of crazy because I've been watching this show called The Man in the High Castle. It's very addicting. I got Netflix back because the old lady requested Netflix. I'm such a great husband, but I've been binge watching The Man in the High Castle. And it's about an alternative, like historical fiction. You got Japan running the western side of the U.S. There's a neutral zone. The Nazis own the east part of the United States. But I was telling Big Pumpkin, I said, you know, if we were in Nazi Germany, there's a good chance that they would go after my son, maybe chop my balls off because they blame me for the autism. There's no telling what would happen to me. You know, fuck them motherfuckers. And if you watch The Man in the High Castle, one of the main characters, he finds out his son has some type of degenerative disease. And within a short period of time, they're supposed to euthanize the boy. And he takes a different route. And I was like, fuck yeah. Trying not to give a spoiler, because if you have Netflix, go search it. It's The Man in the High Castle. I don't even know if I'd ever heard of it. Just stumbled on it. Back to talking about most people aren't warriors. You find this out through life that not every soldier, Marine, sailor, airman, not even every military member is a warrior. Not every cop is a warrior. When the shit hits the fan, some people find out this really isn't the best profession for me. So the average person wearing a pair of skinny jeans, wearing a corona mask, is not the warrior to try to raise a child with Down syndrome. They can't do it. They're not going to be able to do it. They're not going to be able to pull it off. That dude's probably going to bounce. The poor chick is going to struggle for the rest of her life. What's the answer? I'm giving a lot of pieces of information to invoke thought, and I'm not giving you any answers, right? I'm putting you in the decision forcing case. I'm not putting myself in the case. But actually, I've already been in the case. What would I do? Exactly what I did. Do y'all want this testing? Or what's it for? It's going to tell you whether or not your child has Down syndrome. Nope. Don't want it because it's irrelevant. It's irrelevant. That's my position. That was my position when they asked us that at that hospital. I don't want to know, because even if you tell me the child has something wrong with them, so be it. So what, am I going to waste whatever it is, waste some money and waste some stress? It's not going to change the outcome. So no, keep your fucking testing. You know, appreciate you doing it and offering it to us. I didn't even know you could do that shit. I've been out of the medical field a long time. They never thought about it. No thanks, not interested. But even if they came up and said this, all right, here we go. That's just the way I feel. Now, there's no specific test. You might be wondering, there's no specific test for autism. There's too many factors. It's not just a chromosome that's easily detectable, and there's some other tests for Down syndrome. But again, it doesn't matter. My son right now. Hey, man. Why you got your mother's shorts on? I'm trying to make an award-winning travel show. Baby, put some clothes on the dude. Son, come over here, man. Sometimes I'm sitting here filming. He's in the background taking a 10-100. I got to edit that out. Get some good clothes on, dude. Your mama's chubby. You can't wear them. Whoa. I have to edit some of that out because my glasses are very reflective. Big Pumpkin, thanks for helping me. I got more than one kid. I love all my children equally. All of them. I do. What parent doesn't? Hey, man. Hey. Honey, do you see the trucks going by, going to the construction site, and he just runs out in the middle of the street? I'm trying to talk to my friends out there, and I'm getting no help from you supervising the child. I can't do both, and there's trucks going back and forth. Fathers make the better parents 110%. There is no comparison. We fathers are the better parents 1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. And we get shit on Father's Day, and mothers get everything in the world. Why is that? I save my kids' lives on a daily basis. She just, oh, he's fine. Yeah, you saw him running to the street, didn't look both ways, and there happens to be the workers going to work. Other than that, we don't have any traffic through here. Most of the time, there's no traffic, but they're doing some construction work. So my autistic son is a character on a daily basis. There are challenges. Sometimes he will wear on your last nerve. If you take your eyes off of him for 30 seconds, there's a potential that he's going to cause you extra work. Just like this one found out on the last video that almost broke her down to tears. She had all her clothes. I thought they were just clean clothes in a pile ready to be hung up. They weren't. She'd spent 2 days because of the rain, had to rewash them. She had them hanging up on hangers to dry. This dude went around, took them off the hangers, put them back into the dirty wash water. She had to start all over. She was devastated. Check out that video. We just did that yesterday. Nobody's saying it's gonna be easy, but raising children in general is not easy. And again, look at the percentage of fathers who run away from children who have nothing wrong with them. And then when special needs kicks in, a lot more of them are gone. They're fucking just out of there. So I'm just trying to bring some understanding, take some heat off these folks on YouTube or whatever they're on. They're on YouTube. The Nuggets. They didn't do anything that I think, what is it, 80%? Something like 67 to 80% of women in the U.S. when they find out through this genetic testing, they terminate the pregnancy. And I think it's Iceland. Is it Iceland? Where like 100%? Like 100% of the women, if they find out there's a chance of Down syndrome, they terminate it. So these folks are not doing anything other or out of the ordinary that the majority of women do in Western societies. The difference is they're a little bit internet famous. I was about to say ghetto fabulous. No, they're a little bit internet famous, number one. Number two, they put it on video and admit it. That's the only difference. Where's the outrage and the uproar for all the other cases? That's the only difference. When you have this much fame, then everything you do is amplified 1,000,000 times. Everything that we do is amplified times 1,000,000 because we've got this much fame. If you don't have any fame, nobody gives a shit what you do. But when you're this much famous, every little minute thing you do that the tabloids, other people, whoever can capitalize on, they're going to pull that thread and make it an issue. But that's my rambling talk. I don't even know if I'll post this. It's so rambling. A lot of people say, oh, just play his videos like 4 times speed. Folks, I don't have a script here. I don't write scripts. I'm not reading the fucking teleprompter. If you look at the reflection, you'll see there's nothing there but a camera, it's wireless mic. There's nothing. I'm just making stuff up as I go along. I'm just talking. But this dude right here, he's wonderful. Everything about him. You know? The good, the bad, everything in between, the rambunctiousness. Sometimes when I go on a walk with him, he's pulling me in this direction. We got to go this direction. When I get done walking, it feels like I've been wrestling a horse. Wouldn't trade it. Wouldn't trade anything. Wouldn't trade it for the world. I'll leave this last point. All these people, and you know, every person who's, not every, but many people who terminate pregnancies, if they got to know that child for 2 years, there's no way in hell they would trade that child, right? Maybe your old lady came up pregnant at not a great time in life where you're so fucking stressed out. Maybe you had thoughts of, hey, we can't have this child right now. And then 5 years later, there's no way in hell we would give up our kids. It's just like how grandparents, you know, especially young people, you know, end up, chick gets pregnant or out of wedlock or whatever, and the families are all pissed off and, you know, yakking, they're all yakking, your life's over, blah, 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 right up until what? Right up until that child pops out and they're like, holy, this is the cutest thing I've ever seen. Looks just like Grandpa Joe. Then all that 9 months of bullshit or arguing over not liking the child's father, all that shit's is gone. You know what I mean? So, baby, can you see down there? Well, when I hear engines, fathers are much better parents, 100%. All the way. Now, see, I done forgot what I was talking about. But for me, you know, this dude's my son. Proud of him, love him. I ain't going nowhere unless the good Lord decides to call me home. I ain't going nowhere. I'm going to be in his life every day until it's time for me to go. But you know, I've always been a fighter. I got no choice. You know, started this world out poor. What do poor people learn to do? One of them is learn to fight. Not just lay down and roll over and give up. But if you're wearing skinny jeans and a corona mask in the year 2026, when both of those fashion trends are obviously came and went, you're probably not the people who need to be raising a child anyhow. And if you believe in God, you know, the Lord works in mysterious ways. But those two factors, I wouldn't really want those two raising a child. Those two people raising a child with that mindset, I would be concerned. I would be concerned as a parent. I'd be concerned for those kids. Yeah, they're gonna take a 10. Likes to go over there, take a 10-100 in my background. I got to do some extra editing. For him, I don't mind. But for the ladies, when the boobs pop out or too much hoo-ha showing. I charge them 20 pesos per edit. See the difference? My daughter, I could just be like, hey, I'm gonna do some filming, just go over there and sit down. Or don't get in my background, I don't wanna have to edit something out. With an autistic child, it doesn't work like that. That's my talk, folks. Like I said, I'm all over the place. It just sort of hit home. I don't think it's necessary for the internet to start making death threats against these folks. That's not necessary, but you know what? That's a part of this game. It happens when a person gains a little bit of fame. The death threats are just part of it. We've dealt with the same. I'm sure they've dealt with death threats before. You know, you get anywhere near this much fame, you're gonna get the crazies coming out of the woodwork. I mean, people are threatening them over this abortion, but people have threatened us for much less over the way I talk to my old lady, you know, because I didn't buy 2 kilos of chicken versus 1. It wasn't enough food, you know. You deal with death threats all the time in this business. It's just part of it. I used to never understand why superstars out in Hollywood would have these nutcases coming over the fence. I'm like, why would they do that? And then you realize some people in this world are just fucking crazy, and the fame is like a magnet to the nutcases. But for me, these two, they're just nothing special. No need to issue the death threats. They just said what millions of other cases haven't said or haven't publicized or got no attention. They're not special. They're not unique. Does that make sense? Let me know what you think down in the comments. I wouldn't trade my kid for the world. You can have my Force G if you pry him from my cold, dead hands. Folks, life is wonderful. Life is absolutely wonderful. We have a limited amount of time on this beautiful planet that we call the Earth. Children are blessings. Everybody's not perfect. We all have our own unique set of flaws. Those were the words from my buddy Pablo before he died, obviously. I guess before he died, he was drinking too much. And I had this long talk with him, which I had several long talks with him about his drinking. Hey man, slow it down, slow your roll. We're still gonna party, but drinking a bottle of vodka by yourself with no mixer, there's a problem. And one of the things he said to me was, I guess we just all have our own unique set of flaws. And that is so true. I got the mama dog here. All right, now I got a puppy here. What's up, man? Yeah, I got all kind of wildlife. The good thing about them is they belong to the neighbors. You know what I mean? You can hang out with them, you can pet them, and then it was time for me to go inside. I close the gate, they got to go home and shit over there at their house. I don't got to clean up the poop. But yeah, none of us are perfect. I'm not perfect. The old lady's not perfect. My son's not perfect. Ain't nobody perfect. So you just do the best. Do the best you can do in life. You got less than 100 years and then it's over for everybody. If you get the news, it's your decision to make as parents. It's your decision. Life is not always pretty. The world can be a very cruel place. It's a wonderful place, but it's also cruel. Life ain't fair. All of that philosophy. So if you're watching this and your wife is pregnant, and or you just received the news that I'm talking about, it's your life. It's your family. It's your decision what course of action you take, and you don't worry about what the rest of the world fucking thinks. If your child is born with some type of special needs, is the world going to pay your rent? Are they going to be up all hours of the night. No, they're not. So they don't weigh into your decision. It's a decision that needs to be made between you and your wife and your family. You know, maybe your preacher, your doctor. The government and the internet needs to stay the fuck out of your decision. The government and the internet doesn't fucking weigh in. That's the way you need to look at it. And ask yourself and be honest with yourself. Do I have the warrior mindset to go the distance with this child? Because if not, that child is going to end up in an institution somewhere at some point. And how is that fair? Just ask yourself that. If you're wearing skinny jeans and a corona mask, then maybe you need to be part of that 80% that does terminate the pregnancy. If you're a fucking A-type personality, fucking warrior, then you man up, raise a child. But don't let the government or the fucking internet sway your decision. If it's illegal in one state, you go to the fucking next state. I'm not telling you to do anything illegal. I'm just telling you that decisions of this importance should not fall to the government. Not going to weigh in, not going to factor into my decision-making process. A bunch of fucking imbeciles. Let's all agree that the dumbest motherfuckers on the planet are in politics. How they got there is because the rest of us with common sense are too busy living our life, dancing, partying. They ain't got time for that bullshit, looking at ink on paper and laws. So these idiots up there aren't going to decide the rest of my 100 years, especially when it comes to raising children. There you go. Maybe this talk gets me in trouble with the YouTube squirrels. I don't know. But I got an opinion like everybody else. I'm not afraid to say it. My buddy said, you need to talk about autism more. And a lot of times I don't talk about it. At first, I never talked about it. I actually did a video, came out and said, yes, our son has autism, but it was after quite some time. Just didn't talk about it. My buddy said, hey man, you need to talk about it. I said, why? If I talk about it, it looks like I'm trying to profit off of it. He said, no. He said, the reason you need to talk about it is because so many people over here in the United States are finding out that their child has autism, and it's devastating them. They are fucking devastated. They are lost. They feel like their life is over. He said, you don't understand the devastation that it has on a family and, you know, young parents when they find out their child has autism. You need to talk about it more for their benefit. And I said, yeah, okay, all right. Well, that makes sense. I just, you know, I'm not here to profit off of the fact that my son has autism. He said, no, dude, you got to talk about it. You got to talk about it because people think their lives are over. And I'm here to tell you, it's not. You know, if you're not married, or you're, you know, a teenager gets pregnant or whatever, oh, your life is over. That's what everybody told me back in the day. Oh, your life is over. No, it's not. It's all bullshit. Your life is not over just because you have a child. All right? Your life is not over. Trust me. Your life is not going to end because your son has autism. It's not going to end. Is it gonna be a little bit tougher? Yeah, absolutely. But your life ain't over. You wanna see our son raised from birth? There's couple thousand videos here on this channel. You can go back to 2019. I did a video, we had a baby, and you can see him till right now. My life ain't over. We go places. We travel. He flies on airplanes. He's been to Thailand a couple times. We go camping. We go out to eat. We go to the mall. We do everything. Life's not over. But life changes anytime you have a child. It's gonna change. I used to be in the bars all day, all night. Where am I at right now? Just dropped my daughter off from school, picked up a donut, a couple donuts, sat out here, drank some coffee, enjoyed the view. My son's orientation is tomorrow to start his school year. Then he's back in school. The only thing certain in life is change. And as devastating as it sounds for folks in the US, or for anybody for that matter, to find out their child has autism, it's only what you let it be. Okay? It's only what you let it be. When I knew there was something, I don't want to use the word wrong. I'll just tell this quick story. It was during the lockdown. The hospitals were locked down and closed, and we thought the boy couldn't hear. This is when we first thought, or we knew something wasn't right. We thought he couldn't hear. We were arguing about whether or not the boy could hear, and Helen of Troy, she took a metal bowl, threw it across the room, and it landed flat and made this gong, boom, right next to the child, and he didn't react. I thought he was deaf. That's what we thought at first. And it was so eerily reminiscent of the movie where Tom Hanks, they threw a frag in that tunnel and he's just standing there and it went off and he didn't react until they're like, gum, When we took him to the hospital and they did the hearing test and they brought him out and said, there's nothing wrong with his hearing. That's when I got gut punched. It was a fucking dagger. Because I have a niece who is deaf, and now with technology and implants, she can hear. So, not being able to hear is devastating, but it's something that modern medicine can, I don't want to say cure, but yeah, can fix. But when they brought that boy out and said, nothing wrong with his hearing, that was a motherfucking dagger. That at that point our lives were changed. But life is all about change. And we're doing just fine. And if you get the news your child has Down syndrome or your child has any type of special needs, you're going to be just fine. Day by day. Just taking one day at a time. It's like my son was in therapy one time, and I'm, early on when we first started sending him to therapy, and I'm asking the therapist, what do you think? And, in 10 years and in 15 years, do you think this? And this young cat looked at me and he said, look, man, with these kids, you can't predict anything. He said, all I'm trying to do right now is get him to take this A, go over the obstacle course, and put it on the wall over there where the A belongs. That's all I'm focused on right now. You can't think 5 years ahead because you don't know. Don't nobody know. Right now, I'm just worried about him doing this obstacle course with the letter A. That's when it started sort of calming me down to say, hey, look, dude, you can't plan out a 20-year planning horizon. You know, he's going here, he's going there, he's going to Harvard. You can't do that. It's just about today. And that's hard for folks, you know, in the West especially. We have much longer planning horizons in life in general. But with a child with special needs, you can't plan like that. A shorter planning horizon. Let's get through a simple task at hand and then go to the next one. That's my talk. I want to thank y'all for listening.